Hey, hey, everybody. It's Cindy with C3 Cottage Crafts. We're getting ready to do our mac and cheese here. So when you hop on, say hello, let me know you're here. I'm just getting the last few minute things prepped so we can get started. So yes, I am going to be backwards, y'all, because I have to be able to see what I'm doing. So, when you hop on, say hello. Snap. And I'll wait for a few y'all to come on while I clean up this mess I got going on here. Because it is a lot of work. I have started some of the stuff now to get ahead of the game. So I am going to be kind of in and out of the camera, but y'all are going to be able to see what I have going on. So it's now canning time. Let me see if I can turn you. And we're going to do mac and cheese. I don't know if you can see my bowl here, but that is cheese sauce. I'll show you everything that I've used and what I do. Now, y'all, this is not USDA, FDA, whatever approved. This is Cindy approved. Cindy's Kitchen, Cindy's Rules. Hey, Donna. I do things my way around here, and you know what? It works. So anyway, I take a number 10 can of cheese. Then I take, it's better if you have chicken stock versus chicken broth, and I know I'm backwards. I fill the can up with 2 of these. Then I pour it into my bowl. And you stir it. You want it to have, let me see if I can bring you over, the consistency like a soup. Thank you, Donna. Oh my God, he is so stinking cute. Bodie Steven is his name. Hello, Lisa. How are you? So what I do is I take canning salt. I put a teaspoon of canning salt in. What I do with my, I've got so much going on. I'm doing collards, sauerkraut, and mac and cheese. Then you take 2/3 of a cup and you just pour it in. Well, and because I don't have my funnel, I just poured it on the floor. Well, some of it on the floor. You only want to do 2/3 of a cup. I'll be stepping on, and I'm using shells. You can use whatever you want to use as elbow macaroni shells, and I use the tiny shells. And they're tiny. I don't even know if y'all can see how tiny they are. But that's what I use. I'm getting my funnel so I don't spill any more on my floor. I've got sauerkraut going too, y'all. I'm getting it all done today. Or gonna at least try. So like I said, it's 2/3 cups of noodles. I use a teaspoon of canning salt. And we're gonna do one more. And I'm gonna show you everything that I've already prepped. Because like I said, this takes a long time. Thanks for throwing celery. Hey, Vicky. It definitely takes a lot of time doing this, especially the processing time. So, and I cheat, y'all. I use my handy mixer to mix my cheese sauce. And like I said, it's just, this is my way of doing things. Nobody in my family's ever gotten sick from this. We love it. So I just take my cheese sauce, pour it in, and you're going to want to leave a 2-inch headspace because your noodles are going to expand because they're going in dry. Then I take, this is what I call, well, it's a debubbler. So I'll just go in, stir it up. I don't know if y'all can even see. Let me push you down a little bit. Well, I don't know if that's going to go down any further. I'll just hold it up. So I stir it up. Once I get it stirred up, then I take I have a rag here that I have white vinegar on. And then I go around and wipe my jars. And what that does is cleans my rim. I have y'all plugged in. Let me move some of this stuff out of my way. My granddaughter called me from Washington State. That's where they got transferred, so I don't get to talk to her often. That's why I'm late coming on. But anyway, after I wipe this down, then I come over. Let me make sure I have enough water in my canner. I don't know how much battery I have on here. You see. Oh yeah, I can unplug you and take you over to me. All right, now I'm going to take you over here. Over here, I have my rings in water. And I just put them in the water, keep them warm. Get a lid that's not stuck together. They're all stuck together. And that's the wrong size. Huh. Here we go. Then I just put it on my jar. Let me back y'all up a little bit. I just feel like I just want y'all to be able to see, since y'all have asked how I do my macaroni and cheese. So then I just put my ring on it, or my lid. And then I have my rings, and I just put it on finger tight. And you can see I left some headspace there, because this, like I said, is going to expand. Then I will put it in my canner. And I'm going to do that with all of my jars. So I'll bring you back over here. And I'm going to do some jars so I can get them ready for the canner. Like I said, we're just going to fill our jars up with the cheese sauce. And you can shake the jar after you stir it. It's totally up to you. A lot of times I do shake it up. But I just get all my jars going. And then from here, I'll show you my sauerkraut. Because when I go to can all this, I won't keep all of y'all on. Hey, Devonna, how are you? So let's go to the next one. And we're just going to keep adding until you just leave that 2-inch headspace. Because like I said, it's going to, the pasta is going to expand. And it is going in raw. It's not cooked or anything. Because when you pressure can it, and I'm going to pressure can this, 10 pounds of pressure for 20 minutes. And y'all, I just get my cans of cheese from Sam's Club. And I have another recipe that I use that maybe one day I'll do that one on live. That one takes a little longer because I'm actually cutting up cheese. And I use milk in that. And according to USDA, you're not supposed to do all that. But like I said, this is not USDA approved, if you will. And that's because USDA has not tested it. Because if they did, they would see it's fine. We're going to see how many. I think I usually get 10 or 12 jars out of a number 10 can of cheese. I'm going to need this other stuff out of my way. And then I'll show y'all the sauerkraut. So I'm working on 12 jars here. I might get a little more. And I'm using wide mouth jars. You can use, oh, that can get a little more. You can use the regular mouth. I just like the wide mouth. I think it's easier to come out versus the regular size, or what they call a regular mouth. Like this is the regular mouth, and then this is a wide mouth. So it is a difference. And all I can say is thank goodness I have a dishwasher, because this gets to be messy after a while. And I'm probably going to get more than just 12 jars out of it, because I have one more out of my 12, and I still have sauce left. And y'all, when I mix my sauce up, like I said, it's the number 10 can of cheese. And then I take chicken broth or chicken stock, and then I put 2 of these in there, or you can do 1 of these and 1 water. You only want your can to be about 3/4 of the way full. And then, of course, I add salt to mine in my sauce, but I also add a teaspoon of canning salt to my jar. Yeah, that's 12 there. So we're going to move this off to the side. And then we're going to do what we call debubbling. And what this is going to do, hey Mickey, is just going to get the air bubbles out, because it is pasta. And you just stir it up really well. And we're going to do that to all of them. Then I'm going to have to get more jars, because, I mean, I have more sitting over there. I have plenty of jars, that's for sure. And this is why we wipe the rim off, because you can see that I have stuff on the side. I'm just going to actually get a little more sauce. I always leave a 2-inch headspace, because it will expand, and I will show, after I do can these, I will post a picture and let you see how it expands. But it's good. Actually, this is what it will look like when it's done. It comes out as macaroni and cheese. Hey Carol, how are you? Happy Sunday. So all this is doing, if we call it debubbling, or getting the air bubbles out, getting everything stirred up. You want everything covered evenly. So that's what I'm doing now, is just making sure everything is getting stirred and ready for the canner. And y'all, my grandkids love this too. It is the most easiest thing to do. The prep in canning, the prep work is the longest. And just putting it in the canner itself. Because depending where you are in your elevation, like my elevation is, it's 10 pounds of pressure for 20 minutes for mac and cheese. When I do my collards, I'll show you my pot of collards I got going. I do not cook them all the way, because everything is going to cook when you pressure can it. And I'm just taking white vinegar, and I'm going around all my jars to make sure there's nothing on the side, because that will cause a false seal, or it won't seal at all. And it can cause it to siphon, which means it will bubble and it will come out of the jar itself. So I'm just going around doing that to all of my jars, because I do want them to get a good seal. I worked too daggone hard doing this not to get a good seal. Some of these I might have already done, but I'd rather do it too much than not enough. Alright, so now I'm going to bring... I have it in a pan of water because on these lids, I don't know if y'all can see the rubber seal. I want it to be warm enough to where when I go to put it in, it's going to expand and it's going to seal my jars. And I've got all kinds of lids in here because I have little jars that I'm doing as well. And all these little lids are sitting on top of these big lids. And I use this because the water sometimes gets hot. Because I keep it on low. Come on, little lids, get out of my way. I have a lot of little lids in here because the sauerkraut I'm doing in the regular mouth jars. And mac and cheese I do in the wide mouth jars. When you're ready to eat this, all you have to do is take it out of your pantry or wherever. I put it in a pot. I warm it up with a little bit of milk. Oops, I just missed a lot of comments. I'm so sorry, y'all. You scroll up some. You want a bit right now? All right, where did I miss the comments? How long? Oh, crying out loud, Cindy. It will last until I open the jar. Hello, Miss Judy. How are you? On my phone trying to read comments is a pain in the butt, y'all. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm canning macaroni and cheese. I'm canning sauerkraut. And I'm canning collards, if y'all can see them. Hello, Tina. And there's my sweet thing. Thanks for sharing, y'all. All right, let me finish doing this. Get my lids back on. I saw comments come up, and I'm like, oh, my goodness, I done missed all these comments. But I'm trying to have y'all face where y'all can see more of what I'm doing instead of me. Oh, I don't even think I stirred this one. Matter of fact, I know I didn't. Because I just lost my stir in the cheese sauce. Great. All good. I know I didn't do this because I can see all the noodles on the bottom. Alright, now I'll wipe this lid off again. And I just use white vinegar. You can use water. I just think white vinegar, I don't know. It's old school from my mom and my grandmom, so I've just stuck with it. But you can use water. Alright, once I have all that on, I just put them finger tight. I don't want them too tight, but I don't want them loose where they're going to come off. You basically put the rings on to hold the lid down so it seals. And once I get the lids on, I do like to give it a shake just to make sure everything is stirred up and off the side. And you'll see that it gets it all around. I think I shook that one. Oh, better not shake that one because I don't have the lid on yet. That would have been a mess, a big mess. You love sauerkraut with pork chops? I'm not a sauerkraut eater. Now my husband is. I don't like sauerkraut, but I make it for him. It's great for everything that he's going through because it's a good probiotic and it's good gut health. But I don't like it. However, I love cabbage and I put vinegar all over my cabbage. But I don't know what it is with the sauerkraut. I just can't eat it at all. And I've tried it 3 times. And all 3 times I didn't like it. Alright, so once I get my lids on, and I shake them, this is just my preference. You don't have to shake them, but this is just my preference. I'm going to bring you back over here. Because with my canner, I have the All-American canner, which is this here. This canner does not have a rubber seal like most canners do. So because this does not have a rubber seal, it's got a beveled edge. So you have to take, I use olive oil. I know it's expensive, but you have to go around because you need this to be able to seal. You don't want nothing coming out of it, no water, no nothing. So then you just start adding your jars. Now my canner will hold 14 quarts. And then depending how I position my jars, I can get 19, 20 in here of the pints. Now I'm using wide mouth, so the mouths on these are a little different than on a regular jar. So I got 8 on the bottom. Then I have another rack here that I can put on top, and I can add 8 more jars to the top. So it's 16 jars I can get in here. And then I'll add the other jars on top. Ooh, that was kind of a close-up there. You liked it as a kid, you don't like it now. Hey, Wanda! Alright, so we're going to add these to the top. And I'm going to see how many more jars I can get out of the cheese sauce. And I've already washed my jars, y'all. I washed my jars in my dishwasher. And then I just take them out. Because I do, all my canning, I do cold canning. I don't do hot liquid. Nothing to where my jars are going to bust. But now I'm using a teaspoon of canning salt. And I put in each of my jars. I can sit there for now. And then with my, and I'm using, like I said, the small shells. I got cheese sauce all over my funnel. You just put 2/3 of a cup of dry pasta in the jar. I might be able to get more, but I'm going to start with 4 now, just to make sure I have enough cheese sauce to go around. Now I'm going to grab my funnel again. And then we're just going to do the same process. Add the cheese sauce right into the jar. And like I said, just leave that 2-inch headspace so it gives your pasta a chance to swell, if you will, expand, rise to the occasion. I don't know. But pasta is going to swell. And then after I take the funnel out, because the funnel does go down pretty far. So sometimes, like I just did, I'll take it out just to make sure that I've left that headspace. Sometimes I have to add more to it, like you just saw. Man, that wind out there is wicked. Can y'all hear that wind? I have my windows open. I think maybe I could do one more jar with what I have left. So we're going to see. At least with the sauce, I'll have noodles left over. So I still have noodles left over that I could make a small mac and cheese. That just went down the side of my jar because I didn't grab my funnel. But yeah, this took all the cheese sauce. So that's done. So, well, dang. Let me move that out of the way. Now that I wore a little bit of the cheese sauce. And I'm going to do the same thing. Gonna grab me some more white vinegar and put it on my cloth here. So when I'm ready to wipe the lids, I can be ready. I'm gonna take the knife again. And this is, just like I said, this is just debubbling, getting the air bubbles out. Getting all the pasta mixed up, because now remember it was on the bottom, so it settles on the bottom. So I stir it up to make sure it's off the bottom and it all gets mixed up. Let me move this over there too. I done forgot how many jars I've done already. You saw my nose hairs? Well, dang, I guess I need a trim. Hey, Melissa, how are you? Wendy there also. Yes, I do add pickling salt. So when I start out, you can use regular salt or canning salt, pickling salt. I like the pickling salt better when you're canning. I think since it's made for canning, I think it gives it a better taste than table salt. Good, Melissa, I'm doing well also. All right, so now that's done. Now we're gonna wipe our jars off once again. And I didn't put my lids back on the stove, which is okay. I mean, they've been sitting there all morning. And if you get anything on your rag, I always like to turn it over and get a clean spot, because it kind of defeats the purpose if you wipe it off. The last jar I didn't add pickling salt, was that this one? Because I have no clue. I mean, I can add it and stir it up again. I'm not sure which one the last one was. That's all right. You know what? They'll just have to add salt to it when they eat it. That's all. I don't use salt when I cook, so it doesn't hurt my feelings. Hey, Angie. I know you're always working when I go live. Aunt Louise says you work a lot. All right, we're going to turn this in again because I got stuff on it. And of course, I will rinse this rag out, washcloth or whatever, and I will use it again. All right, so we're just going to go back doing the same thing, get the lids. These two stuck together. Come on. And they got water in between them, so they really make them stick. Sometimes I try to zigzag them in here so they don't stick together. But that doesn't always work. Sometimes I just can't help it. All right, we'll put those back in there. And then we'll get our rings again and put on the jars. And then I'm going to count how many jars that I got. I'm down one ring. I got to grab one more ring. Oh, I guess I got to grab more than one ring. Dang, I made me coffee and it's still sitting on the coffee pot. Alright, so now that I've got all the rings on it, again, I'm just going to give them a good shake. And add them to my canner. Hopefully y'all can see me. I know I'm a little far away. I got to be able to get 2 jars in here. I may not. Oh, yeah, I will. So that's 16 jars that I got out of the number 10. Oh, no, I still have another jar. Well, this one will go when I do sauerkraut. That's what it's going to happen. All right, now let me get my lid. And go ahead and get this on. And I'll bring you over so you can see the canner. It does have a gauge on it, and I'll turn it around so you can see the gauge. Come on. But I just got to make sure that I get all this on evenly so you can pull the things up. And you'll only do these finger tight for now. This one wants to give me a fit. There we go. Once I get them all on, then I will tighten them to go all the way down. And then I'm going to bring you to the front of my canner. I'm going to turn you around. Okay, so here has a gauge. Hey, Shyla, how are you, sweet Flossie? I need this to go up to the 10. Once that gets up to 10, I'll have steam that will come out of here. Once the steam starts coming out and it goes for a good 10 minutes, then I will put on my jiggler. And they have numbers on them, 5, 10, and 15. My elevation, I will do 10 pounds of pressure, so this will go on to where the 10, I don't know if y'all can see that, but the 10 will be on this here. And then it starts to jiggle, jiggle. So I do have this on, and I'm going to let that go, and that's going to take a bit. So we're going to move on to the sauerkraut. I'm going to clean all this up for a minute so I can make space. And y'all, when I can, I do a lot of dry canning, which again is not USDA approved. They think you should have, come on phone, liquid into your vegetables and stuff. However, I do not. I've been canning for a lot of years. I don't want mush. And I just feel like when you put a lot of brine or liquid in it, it causes it to be mush. So let me throw this away and grab my other stuff so we can do the sauerkraut. Clean this water up where I made a mess. So these already have the salt in it already. All these jars do. So we have those there. Let me grab a few more jars. I'm not going to put, well, I'm going to put salt in these. Whoa, dang. I don't even have a cat and I fell. Y'all, this is why my knee's jacked up. I can't stay on my feet. And this is just a teaspoon. I do put the salt in all of them unless I miss a jar. And what I've done with the sauerkraut, I've already drained it. So I have all the sauerkraut right here. And then all I'm going to do is, I probably won't even need all these jars. I just start filling my jar. Now there is a little bit of juice in the bottom of my pan. And I will add a little smidgen of juice to my jar. Not a whole lot. Because y'all know, well, I don't eat this, so, but I'm still not going to fill it up, you know what I mean? Sauerkraut is 10 pounds of pressure, and this only has to can for 10 minutes. Dang, I just smacked, that just flew out of my, so I might only get another jar. And these, of course, I'll have to wipe off as well because I've got sauerkraut all down the side. Normally I use the funnel, but it's full of cheese sauce, so I have to use just my little tongs here. And I'll have a mess to clean up this afternoon. Yeah, and I'm going to put the last little bit of this into this jar. And I do pack it down. Alright. All I can say is thank goodness for a dishwasher. Because all this mess is going right into a dishwasher. Now I'm just going to wipe everything off with the paper towel first. Because I flung kraut everywhere. And make sure it's not on my jars. And I've already done up some of this because, like I said, canning, it's a lot of work. It's more prep work than anything. So, out of a number 10 can of sauerkraut, I got what, 2, 4, 7 jars. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. Pull this off. Where'd my little thing go? In the midst of everything, I lose everything. Thank goodness I have another one because I don't know what I did with my first one. So same thing, take it. Nope, I lied. Hold that thought. I got to wipe my jars down. So again, I'm just going to grab my little washcloth here and wipe all my jars off. Now these, like I said, you can these sauerkraut, 10 pounds of pressure for 10 minutes. And because this is a pressure cooker, it is going to pressurize it. Now I don't know if y'all know the rule of thumb. You can cook in a pressure canner or a pressure cooker, but you cannot pressure cook in a canner. I mean, I got that backwards. You can cook in the pressure canner, but you cannot pressure can in a pot. It has to be pressurized. And that's what makes the shelf life until you open it. It's good till forever. Nothing around here lasts forever. That's why I can all year long. Because we go through it. once I get this done, I'll show y'all my canning room. I don't know of those that you saw me can before, what my canning room looked like. It's a lot different now than what it was, because I've been busy. Again, I'm just gonna put these on finger tight. And me personally, I take the rings off after I hear them seal. And I'm going to give you a prime example. I did the weekend that we found out Scott had cancer. I had, oh snap, I forgot to put the juice in. I had 50 pounds of potatoes that we had to get done. I couldn't do a live on it because life just happened and we had to get it done. So we got it all done. My whole counter was full of canned potatoes. Well, I take my rings off. A lot of people don't. I do because I don't want a false seal. Well, I thought everything was sealed. We went into our canning room last night. Scott found 2 jars that did not seal. And had we had left the lid on it, it would have held everything on. And when I went to open it, it would have been a wretched smell. You love sauerkraut? Ugh, not me. So let me grab another little ladle here, because I forgot to put my juice in. And I don't, like I said, I don't use juice. I am going to use a smidgen in each one. And when I say a smidgen, it's not even registering on the jar. Or in the jar, should I say. But I'm only going to use it because it came with it. I will wash my hands because it touched me, and I'm not a fan of sauerkraut. Alright, but I am going to re-wipe my lids. Anytime I open, I always re-wipe my lids, just to be on the safe side. So we'll put that over there. My hands are going to smell like sauerkraut and vinegar. Which Scott will be happy because he loves sauerkraut. And these are things he can take to lunch with him. You don't like it either? Nope. I've tried it 3 different times, 3 different ways, and I still don't like it. Alright, so now we're going to do these 3 jars. I don't even know where my husband is. The one good thing, the doctors did tell him to stay active. And the mistletoe, y'all, is working. I mean, let me rephrase that. The mistletoe that they told us to give him, it inhibits cancer growth and stops the cells. However, it's giving him energy. I don't know. He's nonstop right now. He was out cutting the grass. I was hoping he was going to come up to take a break so he could, like, wash my dishes. But it's all good. We have a dishwasher. I can pile it all in the dishwasher. Alright, so this is the sauerkraut. Now I'm going to go on to my collards. Now, that's my kind of food. I love my collards. I, again, need to move all this stuff out of my way. Alright, so this is all the sauerkraut. So we got 7 jars of sauerkraut. And I still have an extra jar of mac and cheese. Collards, when you go to canned collards, they're 70 minutes. So they have to be in that pressure canner for 70 minutes before I can do anything. All right, so now I need to get me more jars, so bear with me a second here. I do want to wipe my counter down because of the sauerkraut. And because I do have jars here, I'm going to go ahead and use those jars for collards as well. When I do my collards, I take ham hocks. Now, yeah, he is probably out there with Meatloaf. He's somewhere. We have 6 chicks also. Baby chicks. So we have to tend to them during the day too. I'm hoping to have more because I plan on hatching some chicks. Alright, so when I do my collards, y'all, let's see, turn this off. And I'm just going to set this here. I take ham hocks or hog jaws, salt pork, fat back, whatever. And I put that in my pan, and I only have enough water to cover them. And then I let that simmer until it's fallen off the bone. Then I add my seasonings, onions or whatever, and then I throw all my collards in. And y'all, my collards look yummy. And we grow collards because here in Pennsylvania, they will grow all year long. Alright, so I do have to get my funnel for this. So just bear with me a second. Because I am going to have to wash this out. And I will be right back, y'all. I'm so sorry. I only have one funnel, but I have 2 of every other tool. I need to get me another funnel. Because I do a lot of canning. Alright, so, with that being said, same thing. I'm just going to, you use ham hocks in yours too? Your daughter just got 6 chicks. A friend of ours, actually a friend of my daughter's, he ordered chicks from a hatchery. I'm going to tilt y'all down a little bit so y'all can see. They couldn't fulfill his order. So when they were able to fulfill his order, they sent him 31 extra chicks. Well, I think we have Sicilian buttercups. I think they're all roosters. They're still really little, but just from doing the baby chicks, I really think they're all roosters. And if they are, we won't keep them. They'll go to the auction. Gotta grab my little tongs, y'all. Alright, same thing. I do collards with ham hocks and fatback too. Me too. Where are you going? Huh? Oh, okay. Now, because these have been cooked in my seasonings, it's going to have juice on them. Because I'm not straining them. I'm just pulling them out. As you can see, the juice is there. And I'm just going to pack my jars. And when I say pack, I mean literally, I'm going to pack them down. And again, I do leave the head space for the collards. There is a way to tell when they're little. Like these chicks might be 7 days old. A rooster will grow off his back end a curly tail or feathers, and he'll have longer wings. So if you pull the chick's wings out, If they're little like this, 9 times out of 10, they're a hen. If they're long like this, 10 times out of 10 times, it's a rooster. And I think they're all roosters. My husband is telling me otherwise, but we're going to see. We're going to see who's right. You know, if he's right, I'll apologize and say, hey, you were right. And of course, if I'm right, he will do the same. But because I want to hatch my own chickens, I bought an incubator just so I could do that. I have really been researching the chicks because I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. All right, now that I got this in here, again, my hands are clean, y'all. I am going to smash them down under the lip. Oh, darn. And when I do my collards this way, when I'm canning them, I do not cook them all the way. So they've only been sitting in this water on simmer for maybe 30 minutes. So they're still a little tough. Not tough, but they're not cooked. And I only do that because the pressure canner is going to cook them. And y'all, I don't throw my juice away either when I'm done. I will freeze my brine. Because, you know, just like soups and stuff, once soup sits for a day or two, the next day you go to cook it, it tastes better because of all the seasonings. And I think that's the same when I'm canning. But I'll eat what falls on my counter because they're good. When you're canning collards, I think I told y'all, but it takes 70 minutes for this jar. They have to pressurize for 70 minutes before they're done. I cannot wait for the orchard to open, because as soon as the orchard opens, I will be doing jellies. And I love doing jellies. Now, doing jellies, I cheat. I bought they call it a jam maker, which it really stirs everything up for me. I don't have to do everything by hand anymore except like pit my cherries and chop them. The rest of the stuff I just put into the jam maker and it does it for me, and then I jar it and can it. After a while, this hurts your hand, y'all. Or at least it does mine. Working these tongs, it just really gets to my hands. But my hands sometimes cramp up so bad that all this movement just works my hand over. All right. I'll have to get some more jars. I'm going to eat every one that falls onto my counter. Because y'all saw I did wash my counter. Alright. I'm just going to do a couple at a time. Just so the salt's not sitting. So now, because I'm getting to the bottom of my pot, I'm going to use my little scooper here and then push it down. And this it's a strainer. Hey Sandy, hey Dawn. Did I miss more comments? I was trying to stay on top of them. Of course, Angie. All right, where am I at? Thanks for sprinkling. Dawn and Sandy G, how are you? Got to get some things done before work. I'm glad you got to come on here too. I sure will. I will let Wheezy know. That's what Uncle Hen calls her too, is Wheezy. I call her Aunt Louise. He calls her Wheezy. All right, so I think I can get a few more in there. Not with that spoon, but with my tongs. And y'all, I have even more collards, so it's not like this is the end. But again, I will have to, well, I wipe all my jars, so I'm going to sit this back down here, scoop up some more. But I will save my brine because I will be doing more collards. I just couldn't get all of them in my pot. How many of y'all like collards? Hey, Dawn, how are you? Doing my favorite thing, canning. Today is collards, kraut, and mac and cheese. All right. I think I can get a little more into that jar too. And because I don't strain this, it is going to make its own juice, which is okay. All right. There's just scragglers there. And we'll just leave that right there because I will be doing more later. So I'll save all my brine and stuff because the collards I'm not going to be able to do until later because I got to get all this other stuff done. And that's the longest part, is waiting for that to go for 10 minutes and then get up to pressure, and then it starts jiggling. So all I'm doing is just wiping my jars for those of you coming in. I love collard greens too, Sandy G. I sure do. Good, Dawn. I'm glad you're doing good. I had a sister named Louise, and she was called Wheezy too. Yeah, Uncle Hen calls her Wheezy all the time. I call her Aunt Louise. I love my collards. I can grow them all year round. We eat collards all year round. And I also put vinegar on my collards. Hey, Jenny, how are you? I love collards. I do not like spinach. Unless it's in a salad. I do not like cooked spinach. Let's see if I have enough lids. We're gonna see. I thought I put enough in here, but then again, I've been up prepping since early this morning, so. Well, I think I had enough for, yeah. I still have 4 lids left. All right, now that I've got all that done, I'm just gonna do the finger tight thing again. Y'all, I'm waiting for the corn to come in. That's what I'm waiting on. Oh, I only did 2 of those. Oh, nope, I'm still 1 ring short. Yeah, I'm 1 ring short, so I'll have to grab another ring. Hi, Rebecca, how are you? Thanks for coming in. It's just a canning kind of day, y'all. I just bring y'all on to hang out with me because I'm going to can whether anybody's here or not. Because I have to eat. I don't stay around from not eating. So I need to grab me 1 more ring. And in the meantime, until I get the rest of the stuff prepared, I can close all this other stuff up. So that's what, 7 jars of kraut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are all pint jars. So I've got 7 of each. So, since I have to get another ring, I'll take you on a tour of my canning room. I don't remember who remembers what my canning room looked like before when my shelves were empty. But now they are getting full, as you can see. That was full of jars. It's still full of jars. But by the end of spring, that will not be. They will be full. So I need to grab me a couple more rings. And y'all, I have boxes and boxes of rings. Let me grab another one. You love watching me can? Oh, thanks. I'm trying to get my daughter to can with me. I'll show you my backyard real quick. Back where the fence is, it's 2 places back there, but I don't know if y'all can really see it. But that whole spot back there is my garden. And I have another garden. Once I get this on, I'll show you my garden. Thanks, Sandy. Let me see if this is going yet. Okay, the steam is starting to come up, so I'll start timing it now. I'll have to walk out the back door because Diesel's on my front porch. And I don't want him coming in. So I'm going to walk out back here. I got to walk through my canning room to get out my back door. And I'm having some sort of troubles here. I can just open this and show you this little flower bed, aka space here, is another garden. We're working on this one now. But that's pretty big. So that's the one garden. And then what I was showing you was my other garden is on the other side of that fence. All that is my garden. You've never canned? Girl, watch my videos. I'll teach you. Meatloaf! Hi, bud! Look, all I gotta do is call him. He comes walking. Hi, buddy! Can you say hi to everybody? All I have to do is call him, and he comes. But this is all garden. It goes all the way back there. The tree area there, that gets cleaned up. Over there is buckets that we put stuff in. That's a walkway. And then those raised things, we put cucumbers in with cattle panel. And then our cucumbers grow up. And all we got to do is walk under to pick our cucumbers. So yeah, that is my garden. Oh, you hear Meatloaf? Hey, Stinkerbell. Are you mooing? You gotta talk a little louder. They can't hear you, buddy. Well, I guess he's done mooing. Blow him up. Can y'all hear him? He's mooing. Say toodles! Thanks, buddy. He said toodles. I heard him. I hope y'all did too. Get back, Diesel. You're not coming in. No, you got to stay out back. He's still mooing. Sandy, I promise you it is so easy. Sherry cans. Sometimes when she comes here to Pennsylvania, we can together. I think I stepped on something. I got a prick in my toe. One of those thistle things. Okay. All right, we're back inside. Yeah, that's still got to go a little bit there. Good. I'm glad y'all heard him mooing. He's still out there mooing. So, but Sandy, you ought to get with Sherry. Sherry cans. 2 years ago she was here, and I think we did like 2 or 3 bushels of green beans. I just feel like y'all are falling. So now I get to clean up this whole mess over there. Look at all that mess. But it's all right. That mess is so worth it. Let's see. We did mac and cheese. This has to go in the canner yet. I have 16 jars in the canner. We did sauerkraut. And I've got collards going. So yeah, so the longest part of all this, the prep, does take a little bit of time. The longest part is that canner. And that's a big canner. Let me turn it around so y'all can see. I have to pull my stove out 2.5 feet from my wall, or this will not fit on my stove. But you see how the steam's coming up? Y'all can see the steam. So that steam has got to go for about 10 minutes, and then it will start building pressure. Once it starts building the pressure, what did I do with my jiggler now? I don't even know what I did with it. But I need that thing in order to time it. All right. I found it. And then I'll put the jiggler on it. Yes, girl, I got to eat. My hair's all sticking up. I did brush it today when I brushed my teeth. So, y'all, this is all that I have. Now the fun part begins. It's got to go into the canner. I will set a timer once it's done. Once I get everything out, I will post a picture. If anybody wants to recipe to anything, let me know. I'll be more than happy to send that to you. But mac and cheese is easy. I think the next time I do mac and cheese, I'm going to do it the Rebel way, Cindy's way. I mean, both of them are Rebel way, but that one, I do use evaporated milk and milk. So, oh, thanks, Sandy. So, that one I do use the milk. I use evaporated milk, and I can it, and it's good, and it lasts, and, you know, it's not USDA approved because USDA don't want to go through the trouble to cut up the cheese and shred the cheese and melt the cheese and, yeah, all that things. They want to do it the simple way. So, well, y'all, I'm going to let y'all go. I will post pictures later of all the finished product. If anybody wants the recipe to my Cindy Lou's mac and cheese, I'll be more than happy to share it with you. It's the most simplest thing to do. And yeah, y'all go out and enjoy your Sunday. It is nice here. I'm going to fix me a cup of coffee. I did make me a cup of coffee. It is still sitting over there. I never stirred it, so I'm going to wash it out and make me a fresh cup. So y'all go out, enjoy your day, make it count. I will see y'all tomorrow night. What are we going to do? I don't know. We'll find out together. Until then, y'all, have a fantastic day, and toodles!